Swamiji, I have to send, there is some problem with the link which I had sent. It's not supporting. So we have to send another link, which I'm going to send you.
Okay.
And then maybe if you can put on WhatsApp and email. But I'm going to have to fix that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think the link's sent out yet.
Send it to me fast.
They already left?
No, they will come at 6:45.
6:45. Oh, okay. We got 15 minutes.
6:45 they will be here. Got it?
Yeah, I have sent you in the email, and check that out and see if you see this, if it's live. No?
It will come.
Technical difficulties. Masu. Did it come?
Yeah.
Is it?
No.
Oh, okay.
So this I'll send it?
Yeah, send that. We have some technical, so this is another link. So if you can forward that, most of the people, I think, on the WhatsApp, right, Swamiji? So, okay. Yeah, but the link we sent, there's some problem with YouTube is not supporting this. I have to change that. But meanwhile, I send another link. I will put it on the WhatsApp.
Okay. Maybe you can see that. What you're talking here, they can hear.
Direct connection. coming in the middle.
Just move it away.
This is what it's, you can check on the link Swami must have sent on the new link WhatsApp.
WhatsApp.
Madhuvan WhatsApp. You didn't get it? You didn't send it?
No, I don't think I have.
WhatsApp માં જતો સ્વામીજી મોકલાવી link. The new link because also send this new link because the other link has some problem I have to fix it. Yeah, હમણાં મોકલાવી દઈશ. Wherever you had asked me, so send it to Silas. No, but send this one because it's a different link. So and open that link first. There's about 20-second delay. Huh? What?
Okay, you good.
હા ભાઈ વચ્ચે વચ્ચે આવે છે યુ લાઈક લાગે છે How is the sound in that one?
नमामि गुरुवर तव शरणं तव शरणं तव शरणं नमामि गुरुवर तव शरणं तव शरणं तव शरणं भागीरथी से प्रेरणा पाकर उतरी बसे हे परमेश्वर भागीरथी से प्रेरणा
JP. JP. JP.
Yeah.
Change the
You are all nine. Not out of range, but
So this is better. Okay, here. Then
down.
तो पुराना है slowly.
that's all.
Yeah.
Or chanting.
Yeah. Connection का problem. Even the lowest one. क्या करें? Sorry, bad internet connection. I can't live stream from here.
Bharat, the connection here.
Yeah.
They are here.
That's the main problem. So इसको चलते रहना. Okay, don't disconnect. Even though
Oh, okay.
it's not even.
Tell them that बोलो सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। You all can go and sit down.
मेरे वीडियो में आएगा वो
Upaस्महे सच्चिन्मयम् उपास्महे जय जय गुरुदेव हरे जय जय गुरुदेव हरे जय जय गुरुदेव हरे जय जय गुरुदेव हरे जय चिन्मय रूप हरे जय चिन्मय रूप हरे जय जय गुरुदेव हरे जय जय गुरुदेव हरे जय जय गुरुदेव हरे जय जय गुरुदेव हरे जय सत्यस्वरूप हरे जय शिव स्वरूप हरे जय सत्य स्वरूप हरे जय शिव स्वरूप हरे जय सुंदर रूप हरे जय सुंदर रूप हरे जय जय गुरुदेव 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 हरे
Hari Om. Welcome you all to the Chinmaya Madhuvan, the Chinmaya Centenary Center. This is the only center Guruji has inaugurated during the Chinmaya birth centenary, that is 2016. We are all happy that exactly after 1 year, Pujya Swami Swaroopanandaji is here with us during the first anniversary of our Chinmaya Madhuvan. Last year, exactly on July 19th, we started the 10 days inaugural puja celebrations. Thanks to all our dedicated sevaks to keep this Madhuvan so clean and so fresh as ever to make the Lord Krishna happy all the time. The success of a spiritual organization is all because of GPS. We are all here today because of GPS, and you all drove and you all came here because of GPS. That GPS is Guru Parampara system. And Guru is guiding all the time. It's all started with one Mahatma and his tapas. That Mahatma is Param Pujya Gurudev Swami Tabonji Maharaj. His tapas, his teaching, and his love created another Mahatma, and that is our Pujya Gurudev. And he has created more than 300 acharyas all around the world. That Guru Parampara system is Tapavanam to Chinmayam, and Chinmayam to Chinmaya Tejomayam, and now it is Chinmayam to Swarupam. And this is our CM GPS. Last year was very special year because of the Chinmaya birth centenary year. And this year is also very special for all of us because the last center Pujya Gurudev inaugurated is Chinmaya Mission Tri-State Center, that is Kedar, on November 30, 1992. So this year is the 25th Silver Jubilee year of our Chinmaya Kedar. We will have celebrations during November. Next year is also very auspicious and very special for all of us. That is Pujya Gurudev's 25th anniversary of the Maha Samadhi. And the camp will be at the place where he left his body, that is San Diego. And San Diego means sannyasi, die and go, is San Diego. And that also, that place is something special. That city is known as Powai. And Gurudev is from Powai Ashram in Bombay. I think we all must go for the next year Mahasamadhi camp. San Diego, that is very most auspicious, and the 25th anniversary of Mahasamadhi, and Gurudev left the body. See, we all will go and see the place and also see the experience. We will start booking now itself. And now, see, one day when I went to somebody's house for a bhiksha, a 5-year-old child heard or saw an ambulance is driving. With, the ambulance go with many lights, and they keep a Shivalinga on the top, and the Shivalinga is running. So this child, 5-year-old child, immediately started chanting, Om Trayambagam Yajamahe. That is one of the Balavihar child. That child has learned from the Balavihar, but she doesn't know the meaning. Like all those children, we also don't know the meaning. We just chant. But all these 4 days we are going to learn what is that chanting, why we are chanting. All this our Mukhya Swamiji is going to elaborate and teach you all these 4 days. Now, I request our Swami Shantanandaji to give more stories about Swamiji, because both of them are from Hong Kong. And not today or yesterday, but about 40 years back, both of them started the Chinmaya Mission activities in Hong Kong. And also, I tell you, our Swami Shantanandaji, this year he has completed 25 years in USA. So I request Swamiji to come up and introduce our Mukhya Swamiji to the audience. Thank you. Hari Om.
Hari Om. I'm very happy and delighted to welcome our Pujya Swamiji to Madhuvanam and also introduce you. My association with him started from 1981. Now that is not 40 years. Okay. And when I was posted to Hong Kong after the Vedanta course, we were together for some time, and afterwards Swamiji went to Bombay ashram for his Vedanta course. Then he came back and established the Hong Kong Center. Then afterwards he traveled to Australia, then Singapore, New Zealand. All these places, Jakarta also, he established centers, Chinmaya mission centers. Then he traveled to UK, Saudi, of the Arab countries also, and then Africa also. All these places he established centers, Chinmaya mission centers. And he is a great devotee of Hanumanji. As Hanumanji, how he served his Ishtadevata, Bhagavan Ramchandraji, the same way Swamiji also served his Guru. He has offered human services to his Guru in his short time. This part, now I tell you later part. We were staying in Hong Kong Center one night. Both of us were there. And middle of the night, he got up and woke me up. He said, I am hungry. So in that ashram, then I went in search of something to cook. There was nothing much. It was a true ashram. Then I found out some rava. Then I took that and made upma and gave it to him. Even today I think he remembered the taste because he said it was very good. Why? Because then I thought he must be very hungry. And he has written so many books. The most famous one is the Ikonkar and this Gayatri mantra and this one Trayambagam mantra. Also is the management workshop, Make It Happen. It is adopted by cities in India all over, and that has become very popular. Once his progressed in his sadhana, and today, in this year, he became the Pujya Swamiji, the head of the Chinmaya mission worldwide, and our Puja Guruji himself appointed him to serve the worldwide community of Chinmaya mission. Friends, please welcome our Pujya Swamiji. Thank you.
Hari Om. Thank you all of you for a very warm welcome, and especially our two Swamiji, Swami Shantananji and Swami Siddhananji for their years of warm love and affection towards me. Swami Shantananji might not remember, but besides his upma, there were many, many wonderful things that I learned from him, including about the Brahmachari course, which I went and joined later on. But this particular mantra that I am here at this moment able to speak to you about, I do not know whether he remembers, but for the first time, he taught me this mantra. And especially I remember that one line, Urva Rukamiva Bandhanat, Mrityor Mukshiya. That Urva Rukamiva which he taught, that remained in my mind, that years later, when I wanted to contemplate upon this mantra and share it with everyone, it is from that line that inspired me that I studied, contemplated upon this mantra and was able to even write this book, which you will find outside, and I would request all of you to get a copy for your home. It's one of a kind commentary now, available in English. And as I said, my inspiration came from Swami Shantananji itself. We start short invocation, and then please sit straight, close your eyes gently, chant Om loudly with me. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chinmayam Vyapiyat Sarvam Trailokyam Sacharacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Om Shanti Shanti, Shanti. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. There is something we have to face moment to moment. It is not that we have to face sorrow in our lives today. It is not also that every day. It is not that all time. It is not that all times we find solution to the problems. However, there is something that we have to encounter daily, and that is moment to moment. And what is that? Something that we have to encounter moment to moment, something that we have to manage moment to moment. We study about many management techniques, but that which invariably, from a child to the oldest person, has to manage. And what is that? And time implies change, isn't it? Even in the corporate world, change management is one of the very important aspects of any corporate, any business. Because change is constantly happening. Moment to moment, change is happening. Overnight, situations can change from the better to the worse, or from the worse to the better also. How do we cope up with this change? How do we manage this change? We need not only great strength, we also require the wisdom to manage the change. Our rishis have given us a whole range of knowledge to deal with every aspect of our life. But one thing that, in spite of all the knowledge we have also, that we constantly fear, and even though it is inevitable, we cannot accept, and which is very much part of this change that is inevitable in this world, and that is death. Even the name will frighten us, is it not? Yeah? But death is inevitable for those who are born. And therefore, all of us have to encounter this death. And the sooner in life we accept that, then we will know how to manage our life. Sant Kabir Das has said very beautifully how to live our life and how to depart from this life. And both are interrelated. If we know how to live our life properly, we will also know how to depart from this life gracefully. And if we know how to die gracefully, we will invariably live our life beautifully. Someone has very beautifully said, most people live their life as though they are never going to die, and die in such a way as though they never lived. How do we make both our life and death glorious? Our rishis dwelt on this subject and wanted to give us those means by which we can live our life beautifully, and when we make an exit from this life, we go with grace, with dignity. Kabir Das ji has said, "Jab hum paida hue, jag hasse, hum roye." Invariably, the story of everyone's life is, except one came smiling and went smiling. And that is Krishna. Even Ramchandraji came crying only into this world. Because after all, he's playing human being. Yeah? Rodana thada. It is said. Sunivachana sujana, rodana thana, hui balak surubhupa. Everybody in this world comes crying. And the irony is that when you are crying, others are laughing. जब हम पैदा हुए, जग हंसे, हम रोए. In fact, we all get very cheerful about birth, but the wisest person is the infant. He knows that this life is nothing but crying only. Because if you look around, everybody has got some sad story to tell. Yeah? Very rarely you'll hear some good story. Is it not? See, Upma's story is at least a good story. Yeah? But life seems to make an Upma out of you only. That's why when you meet anybody, as Gurudev used to say, you meet everybody, you say, hi. First only you say that you are miserable, hi. Yeah? And ask anybody, how you are? How are you? Immediate response comes, fine, thank you. Wait for 2 minutes, nothing is fine in their life. तो जब हम पैदा हुए, जग हंसे, हम रोए. And listen to anybody's story of life. Even if you were to remember your life, immediately you'll remember, if I tell you right now, remember the important incidents in your life. You will only very often, rarely remember those wonderful things. You will remember only those sad things in your life. Therefore our sages, Buddha also said, Sarvam Dukkham Dukkham. Guru Nanak Sahib says, Nanak Dukhya Sab Sansar. That everybody in this world is sad only, miserable only. I used to think, I think these saints are very pathetic. Their life must be miserable, that's why they must have renounced everything. We still think that way only, no? They must have renounced everything. Life is not that bad, but when you grow up and when you have to listen to the lives of many people, then you wonder who's happy in this world. So if you see, life is full of crying only. Therefore, the baby, when he's born, he comes crying. Yeah? So you got company to cry now. That's why people celebrate, Hum jag hase, hum roe. But Kabir Das ji says, aisi karni kar chalo. Perform in this world in this manner that when you depart from this world, aisi karni kar chalo, hum hase, jag roe. Not that you make the world cry, but go in such a way that you go smiling, laughing, fulfilled. And the world pines for you. Not saying good ridden, bad rubbish. Acha ho gaya, mar gaya. For some people you are waiting to die, they never die. And those who die young, we cry for them. Because we wish they were there with us longer. Such people we want in this world. So hum hase, jag roe. That should be our life. But nowadays, while living also they are sad, while dying also they are sad. Live this life. But everybody fears death. Not only their own death, but also the death of their dear and near ones more. Because one feeling we have, we will never die. But we are very afraid of anyone close to us dying. Our rishis dwelled on this paradox of life and wanted to find a solution. And sage Vashishta, who is the mantra drashta of this Maha Mrtyunjaya mantra, having invoked the very Lord of Death, Bhagwan Shivji, and this mantra being revealed to sage Vashishta, he gave this mantra to mankind, and it is called as Maha Mrtyunjaya mantra. That mantra that makes us victorious or gives us the grand Mahajaya, just like Mahabharata, that grand victory over death. Or it also means that victory over the mighty death. This is that mantra which has, that's why it's called as the Maha Mrtyunjaya mantra. Now when we say death, people think that death means, okay, it's the end of everything. And if you're a student of the Gita, you should not be afraid of death, but death happens to this body, not to the soul, but it happens to the body. Even that death we are afraid of. Now someone say, I'm not afraid of death. But what does death really mean? We celebrate birth, but we cry over death. But the moment someone is born, death is inevitable, because that which is created will one day perish. That which has come in time will also go in time. Gurudev used to very humorously point out, he says, we all celebrate birthdays, and everybody claps on your birthday, and they bring you a cake, and on the cake you put so many candles. Afterwards, by now, you can't even afford the amount of candles that will go on the cake, because the cake no longer is big, but the candles will be so much. So that's why you put one candle for every 10 years, so that you can always think you are always 30 plus. That's it. Not more than that. 30 plus. Now that plus can be anything. And they light the candle of the number of years that you have lived, and they light it, and then they blow upon it. What an inauspicious act on your birthday. Because we believe in lighting lamp, not blowing off lamp. And then they tell you, the child also, that blow it with one breath. So the child spits all over it. So unhygienic, impure, and inauspicious, we celebrate our birthday. Rather than coming to Madhuvan, getting Krishna's blessings, distributing prasad. Yeah. We blow the candle. And then they cut the cake and give. And while you blow the candle, everybody starts clapping, because they're so happy that many years of your life is blown out. And each birthday reminds you that you're getting closer to death. Birth and death are two sides of a coin. That which we call as birth is the starting of our death. And death of one state is the birth of another state. Death of one state is the birth of another state. When childhood dies, then only the youth can be born, is it not? When youth dies, then only adulthood can be born. So why do we fear death? Because what is death on the other side is birth. And what is birth that we celebrate is another form of death only. Isn't it? Children love to celebrate their 21st birthday. Because what? They are born as adults now. After 30, they will regret celebrating their birthday. Because that's the end of their... At 30, they get depression. They'll start getting depression at 21 only. Yeah? That you cross after 30. That which is born will one day perish, and that which perishes takes up another form. So birth and death are two sides of a coin. Death is birth, and birth itself is death. One man went up to Buddha once, weeping, and said, "Save me, save me, save me. I hear you have found the solution to death. I don't want to die." And he was begging, holding on to Buddha and said, "I don't want to die, I want to die." And Buddha said, the only way you cannot die is don't be born. Because that which is born will one day perish. Jo pujo so binas hai paro aj ke kaal. So birth itself is death, and death itself is birth. Then what else do we call that itself is death? That's why we started off with change. Change we don't mind hearing about, but death we don't want to hear also. Yeah? But moment to moment change is taking place. That itself is death. And if we do not know how to manage that change, we experience sorrow. If we get attached to something favorable, and when the change takes place, we are miserable. If we do not know how to handle change, we cause misery for ourselves. And therefore, change itself is death. At the same time, if you were to live life, and that life had no moments of joy, it would only be misery all the time, would you want to live? Tell me. Don't give me the Indian hot nod, okay? It's very confusing. If life was just full of sorrows and tragedies, that's why after every heartbreak, everybody says, oh, I don't remember those songs, but I'd rather die, till they fall in love again, and they again die. Living in sorrow itself is death. So when we say it is Maha Mrtyunjaya mantra, it is not only to avoid death. It is also to manage our change, to manage our life, to even be able to overcome our sorrows. All this comes under death. Sorrow is also death only. Then, if you are taken over by some debilitating illness, don't you say this person is as good as dead? In fact, if you have a very painful illness, sometimes you wish that you were dead also. No? That illness is also death. And therefore, Maha Mrtyunjaya mantra is also chanted to remove illnesses. Because every disease causes that dis-ease in us. And therefore, to live a life of agitation, dis-ease, worries, anxieties, this is also called as death only. At the same time, to live an unproductive life, someone who is doing nothing in this world, don't you say this person is as good as dead, a stone? Not living a productive life also is considered as death only. So see, this word death is not just about, a person died, I don't know what happened to that person. Moment to moment, we are experiencing death. When we do not even live up to our own potential, how many of us feel that we can do much more and we are not doing? Not living up to your own potential is actually killing yourself. That is also called as death. See how many meaning is there of this one word, death. So no doubt this mantra prevents what you call as untimely death. When you say untimely death, it is not about the age. The moment you are born, your time of death is already destined. And it is not destined according to time, it is destined according to the number of breath you have. And as I explain mantra, I will explain to you also how it is the mantra that gives you long, productive, healthy life. To say that this mantra will prevent you from this physical death would be wrong. Because that which is born, this body is born, this body will one day have to die. But most people die while living itself. They die very early because they finish off their breath. Also, those of you know a little bit astrology, I'm not saying that you should dwell into it unless you got someone who's really very knowledgeable. But if you know a little bit of astrology, see, there is a final death of this body which is going to take place. And as I said, nobody can really give you the number, time, year, unless he's an expert. It's measured by your breath. But there are occasions in your life, if you are careless and you don't take that, your life can run short. This mantra definitely can remove this possibility of death. But to think that when the time of death has come of a person, unless by very special grace of the mantra, that can be prolonged. But death is inevitable. So see, all these type of death, this mantra has got power over. Now there's another type of death which has been spoken of in the Bhagavad Gita. When Arjuna makes this big melodramatic statement that I do not know, is it better to kill them in battle, these felons, to kill them in battle, or for myself to die? He's neither able to do both of it, And then he comes up with this statement that how can I kill Bhishma, Drona, who are worthy to be worshipped? Because in this battle, there is only two things. You have to kill these noble people, or you have to die yourself. There is no middle way in that. Death was inevitable in this battle. There was no choice. So Krishna does not bluff. No, you'll also be alive. Dronacharya and Bhishmacharya will also be alive. He didn't give any such bluff to motivate Arjuna. It's either your dear and near ones will die or you are going to die. One of the two has to die for one of the parties to be victorious. There is no other way. But there is where Krishna points out one more even worse death. And maybe today many people will not be able to understand this. But when Krishna points out to Arjuna that one who has attained fame, defame is worse than death. That's why in olden times, if someone went through bankruptcy, here the more chapter 11 you have, the more millions you have made actually, But in olden times, if someone had lost or was in debt, or for some reason they have done something wrong, or even if someone had accused them falsely of defame, for one who has got fame, defame is worse than death. And Krishna points out to Arjuna, will you be able to face that? For a hero, to be called a coward is worse than dying on the battlefield. So that defame is worse than death. Now you can understand the whole range of meaning of this word, death. And therefore it is called as Maha Mrtyunjaya mantra. It is not just victory over the physical death or prolonging the life, or even being able to remove a disease. But in the highest sense, it removes the very disease of this samsara. They call as bhava roga. Now if somebody says, that we will deal when death will come. One thing that remains constant with us is fear of death. We may give it fancy names as worry, anxiety, depression, stress. But these are all fear. In one word, they are fear. And really speaking, those who have to face death very often, if you find a person discover he or she has got cancer, and the doctors say that you don't have much time to live, they in fact seem to face death better than the relatives who make such a big hue and cry of that person dying. Because anybody's death makes us confront our vulnerability, our death. So this fear of death is constantly there. And that's what causes insecurity, stress, etc. If a Maha Mrtyunjaya mantra means, I'll tell you, most of our present day diseases is out of stress only. Out of fear, anxiety. And therefore, it can cure us of bhava, bhaya, roga. This is the expression used in the scriptures. Bhava, change. Bhaya, fear. Roga, disease. These three go together. And that which can bring us victory over these three, that is called as Maha Mrtyunjaya mantra. So you can imagine what a powerful mantra it is. Two mantras from the Vedas are the most popular. One is, of course, the Savitur Gayatri, Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. And the other is this Maha Mrtyunjaya mantra. It was very interesting when I used to speak on Hanuman Chalisa, and people never wanted more and more of Hanuman Chalisa. So how many times could I repeat Hanuman Chalisa? So somebody told me that after Hanuman Chalisa in the booklet, there is something called as Sankat Mochan Ashtakam. Why don't you speak on that? So I thought I'll speak on something different. So I started speaking on Sankat Mochan. Same thing happened. I'd heard Gayatri Mantra from Gurudev very briefly whenever people used to have their Upanayana ceremony done. He used to very beautifully explain Gayatri Mantra. And from that, I went on contemplating and I started giving discourses on Gayatri Mantra. Now that I had given discourse on Gayatri Mantra, people were so fascinated by this mantra itself that they wanted more discourses on mantras. So I said, now which mantra? Every mantra, Upanishad verse is a mantra only. But no, mantra that we can chant regularly. And of course, the next most popular mantra was Maha Mrtyunjaya mantra. So then I started contemplating and speaking on this Maha Mrtyunjaya mantra. But very interesting is that these two mantras were given by two mighty Maharishis of their times, both supposed to be mighty competitors amongst themselves. Amongst these rishis also there were competitions. Not really. When Vishwamitra was not a Maharishi, he wanted actually to be like sage Vashishta and have all the powers of sage Vashishta. The story is that once king was returning victorious from battle, and he came across the ashram of sage Vashishta. He came to pay his respect and homage to sage Vashishta. And sage Vashishta said, "O king, your army must be tired before you reach the palace, which is quite a distance away. Why don't you camp here at night and rest?" That king, who later on became Vishwamitra, sage Vishwamitra, he smiled and said, "These are young soldiers. Do you know how much they can eat? And they're used to..." But sage Vashishta said, "Don't worry. One thing there is no shortage of in an ashram. Yeah? Donations may not be there. Yeah? Even sevaks to clean may not be there. Yeah? People to do the gardening may not be there. But one thing in an ashram is never lacking, and that is food, especially in Indian ashrams." Yeah? So he said, "Don't worry." And to the king's surprise, the arrangements that sage Vashishta made of their tents and the food and even the comforts, he was quite curious. He realized that over the years such an ashram was close by and he never made any, it's a king's duty, he never made any generous donations to the ashram. So who are the philanthropists? Who is supporting this ashram? And if the king himself is not the giver, who else will be the giver? So he tried to curiously find out who is this person who is supporting the, found out other than sage Vashishta, there is nobody else. So he said, how does he manage all this? And then he heard a rumor that sage Vashishta has got a cow and the name of the cow is Kamadhenu. Yeah? The wish-fulfilling cow. So he went searching for the cow, and the number of cows that were there, he couldn't find anything unique. And he wanted to know this cow because he was greedy to have that cow. Because from this cow you could milk out gold, you could milk out palaces, you could milk out anything. So he was fascinated to find this cow out and take this cow with him. So he went, and that's when they suddenly know. When they find out that the temples in India, in the hundi, they're making so much money, then the government is interested to nationalize the temple. Yeah. So this tradition was started at that time only. Why should such a cow belong to only a small group of rishis? It should be the possession of the state, which means the king can enjoy it, that's all. Because anything in the name of the state means it belongs to the politician. So wanted to enjoy it. He went and told sage Vashishta, I think this cow must be given to the state, so I claim it. Sage Vashishta tried to explain to him that this cow will not yield anything to selfish people. It does not yield to anybody. This cow is not available for just anybody. But he said, show me the cow. He said, I can't even show you the cow because you can't see the cow. So he thought he's trying to trick him. So he got upset and he tried to shoot a weapon at Sage Vashishta. And Sage Vashishta, by his mere power of austerity, was able to encounter every weapon of this mighty king. And mind you, those weapons are which Vishwamitra gave to Ramchandraji. Huh? That is the type of power Vishwamitra had. And this sage Vishwamitra, when he became a sage, but before he found out what is the power of the mind, that this rishi had no weapons, but he could encounter every weapon shot by Vishwamitra. And he brought an army with him, and alone did sage Vashishta encounter that army. And therefore, that king renounced everything and performed austerities so that he could match up with sage Vashishta. Little do we understand that most of our jealousy is only an admiration. Yeah. And he strived to get that power of Vashishji. For first, it was a status of Vashishji, of a Maharishi. But having got that status, he realized that all this competition is not necessary because there is much more than status. When he realized that, then you can see when it comes to Ramchandraji, both are united. These two saints, well-known saints or rishis of the Vedas, are the ones who have given us the two mighty mantras. Sage Vishwamitra gave us the Gayatri mantra, which reveals to us the complete secret of the universe. And we know that sage Vishwamitra also had the power to create a complete universe for Trishanku. And therefore, with Gayatri Mantra, you can create any success in your life. So if Gayatri Mantra reveals to us the mystery of the universe, Maha Mrtyunjaya Mantra reveals to us how to go beyond this universe. See? How do we go beyond this universe? And therefore, both these mantras complement each other. Because only when you understand the universe and the nature of the universe can you go beyond the universe. So both these mantras actually complement each other. If one teaches us how to live life, other teaches us how to conquer death. Both, really speaking, mean the same. Besides its amazing power to ward off evil, to ward off untimely death, to cure even the most incurable illnesses. Swami Shivanji Maharaj or Param Gurudev, he was a doctor in his Purva ashram, and therefore even as a sannyasi he used to administer medication. And he inspired many doctors to serve. And he used to always recommend that whenever you're doing a surgery, whenever you're giving a medicine, give it along with Maha Mrtyunjaya mantra. That is the power of this mantra and the greatness of this mantra. But besides all these wonderful benefits of these mantras, and most people, as I said, only do it for disease or to ward off death. This mantra, just like the Gayatri Mantra, is the revealer of the eternal, timeless truth or reality. And very rarely do people understand that how this mantra conquers the mighty death, not this physical death, and frees us from this samsara and makes us realize our eternal, immortal self. So even though one mantra, this one mantra, just like the Gayatri Mantra, is the complete quintessence of the Vedas. It covers all the themes of the Vedas. And nowadays, where people's attention span is so small that they can't even sit more than half an hour, because we are so used to WhatsApp messages of 2 minutes. In such an era, where do people have time to sit for years to listen to the Upanishads, to digest these Upanishads? Everybody wants in short. Actually, this Maha Mrtyunjaya mantra is Upanishad in short. Yeah? So we will chant this mantra, then we will tell you the importance of the mantra, what is the mantra, how, of course, you chant the mantra to make it effective, and then how do we contemplate and meditate upon this mantra. Others will wonder, 4 days? 2 lines? What is there in that? Let's chant it. Please repeat after me. I'm sure all of you know it, but repeat after me. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Mrityor Mukshi Amamritat. So this Maha Mrtyunjaya mantra, its simple meaning, if we take every mantra, Om is added, it being the very first sound in creation that reveals the infinite truth, reality, and is the seed of the entire universe. We chant Om. Trayambakam Yajamahe. Yaj means to worship, and we will see in details later on. I adore, I worship Yajamahe, whom Trayambakam, the one with 3 eyes, who is Sugandhim, who is fragrant. Now, to think Lord Shiva is very fragrant, living in cremation ground, but he is very fragrant. Sugandhim. Pushtivardhanam. We think Lord Shiva is a destroyer. But in fact, Pushtivardhanam, who makes us grow or who nourishes our growth. Pushtivardhanam. Urvarukamiva bandhanat mrityor mukshiya. Mrityor mukshiya. Liberate me, free me from mrityu. And now we've seen the different meanings of death. But there's another greater meaning of death I will point out in the end. So mrityor mukshiya. Now, death itself is frightening. And any form of detachment is very difficult for us. Liberate me, and we think that liberation is a very difficult thing. But says very beautifully, Urvarukamiva bandhanat. Just as a ripe cucumber or a pumpkin is so easily severed from the creeper, that effortlessly, without any struggle, liberate me from this samsara of change, from this death. And the last statement, Ma Amritat. May I never fail from attaining immortality. Let my life not go wasted where I have not attained immortality. May I never fall away from immortality. May I never compromise in attaining immortality in this life. So, Maha Mrtyunjaya. This is the very simple meaning of this mantra. Now, what is the mantra? What is the power of mantra? How mantras become effective? And especially this mantra, we shall unfold over the next few days. So today we'll conclude with a little meditation on this mantra. Sit straight and you can chant along with me. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Mrityor Mukshi Amamritat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनात् 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 मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति 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 हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम। Every day we will start these sessions at sharp 7 o'clock, and as you know, it's our Gurudev's tradition. We start on time and we complete on time. So from 7 o'clock to 8:30 is the time. Please be here at 7 o'clock. I know some of you have to drive from distances and come, but plan in such a way, because this being an Upanishad in itself, and plus a very concise capsule mantra, if you want to understand its deeper meaning for our meditation and experience its greatest power, we must not miss a little bit also. So be on time. As you can see, we'll conclude well before time. There will be some announcements in the ending, which will also complete before that. Please also let the maximum people benefit from these talks. So today, on your favorite companions, your phones, send out your WhatsApp messages, make your phone calls, and let them know what this Maha Mrtyunjaya Yajna is all about. Chant this mantra, and in these days, even in your life, whatever problem, diseases, or in the lives of your relatives, with that sankalpa in your mind, all of us together will be chanting, and I have full faith that it will benefit everyone. And more than that, the entire life, the message of this mantra will remain with you. So please inform as many people as possible. Let them benefit. These are excellent even for your youth. Very little children might not be able to, but our Balviyar children who have grown up, they will all be able to understand, because they chant this mantra. And sometimes they question you, what's the meaning of this mantra? They will understand, and you'll be surprised that they will tell you. Book is available at the bookstall. The CDs and DVDs have come out. so that if you want to gift some of your friends or relatives who have either illnesses or are facing a bereavement in their life, it is definitely something that can bring them a lot of peace. And then, of course, I think this is the hub for books and CDs, right? So we have a whole lot of books and CDs. I do not know if they've been displayed out there, but there are a lot of them. Please benefit. There are children book, youth books, CDs for youngsters, adults, on contemporary topics. So all of them are available at the bookstall. Browse each day when you come in and when you leave, and take these treasures home with you.
Please be seated. Gayatri has a quick announcement about our Balavihar registration and what Balavihar is all about. So please give us 2 minutes. Thank you.
Hari Om, everyone. Hari Om, Swamiji. I know many of you who are here are already either your kids are already in Balavihar, or they are already coming, or they have already graduated from here. I also see some of them who have already graduated from here. Their parents, they are already parents, and their kids have graduated from here. What we want to reach out to you, we've usually seen, I've been coming here for about over a decade here, and what I have noticed is one really dedicated, the whole family comes here, they're really here at the beck and call. Anytime a Swamiji requests, they're always here to help. To those, we say thank you for your service and time on behalf of Swamiji and everyone. There are other set of people we have seen, another set of men. It's not going to happen in a day. Think about it like in springtime we sow the seed. It takes a couple of weeks, months for the plant to grow and bear fruit. The same way it's going to take years probably to happen. So do take that jump. It's the third set of people we really want to reach out. Are those who are members but use us as what I would term as service providers. You think you've paid for the Balavihar, you drop your kids, and you leave for the day. You come back and pick them up. To those we want to reach out and say, as parents, don't drop just the kids there and expect them to learn something. Involve yourself in terms of either a volunteer, a teacher volunteer, a sevak, or someone who you think for any way you can contribute. Think you're really creative. Whatever you can contribute, that will really, really help. That makes a difference in how the kids perceive in coming on every Sunday. That being said, we want to let everybody know our registration for this year's academic year is going to open very soon, and we hope to see all of you re-register and see you back in September. Hari Om.
Hari Om, we'll see you tomorrow.